Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, Patriots.
Good morning. Once. Okay, good morning. I'll give you two.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to
Morning,
this
everyone. Anybody
episode.
here? Nobody's chimed in yet.
Let's take a look at your.
They're usually chiming in by now.
Mhm.
Ah,
There we go.
you. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm sure Michael will probably pop in any minute. Let's give people a chance to come on in. Joel, how's your week been, good sir?
It's been all right. I'm back at the nose to the grind wheel. A new business venture. So things at the house are pretty much done. So now I got to stop working and get back to work. Up, here he comes.
I'm here.
Speaking of work, there he is.
Well, the brand. Got to fix the brand. Here we go.
The man, the myth, the legend. There he is.
Wow.
Here I am. Hello, everyone. People are going to pile in here from Bible every morning.
He's going the full Jerry Garcia look this morning.
Yeah, I just had to leave
let it all hang out there.
Yeah.
No hat, no nothing.
No hat, no hair pulled up, and the beard is being pulled outward full. My wife is hating it. I am going to get a trim today. I'm going to be going and get a trim.
Oh, no, hold on a second, Michael. Listen, you were so close to going full Isaiah prophet, but
it's
there you go. You just cut it and then you end it.
No. Okay. Fair enough. It is, well, people want to see it. Let's show it to them. There we go. There we go. All right. People want to see what we're talking about here.
And you made yourself dead center too.
I just ended up there.
Oh, it just happened to come out.
I just happened to be the center of attention. It's not my
fault.
fault.
Sure.
Funny how it works out that way all the time.
Well, I have something I'm going to up in Sacramento on Sunday, and I'm going to be a guest, not a guest. Well, I don't know. I may have an opportunity to speak for 5 or 10 minutes or something, but I'm going to be wearing a suit jacket and stuff like that. So I'll get a nice grooming. I'm not shaving it or anything. I'm just going to clean it up a little bit. Maybe trim this down a little bit. So as it continues to grow, it gets, instead of going sideways, it's going to
you could go all the way and just wear like an old simple cloak that just fully embraces
a couple stone tablets
prophet that you're going.
Yeah, a couple stone tablets under my arms.
Right? Exactly.
Halloween is coming. Halloween is coming. That's what this is all about, right?
Dude, you make a fantastic Moses. You should just do that for Halloween. Be Moses.
I've considered it. I actually should go. I should look up some of those plastic stone tablets right now. And actually, I do need a robe. So
you should go to every lake near your home and just.
I have the sandals.
Fail partying.
Yeah, go to a lake. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, we got some people in. Good morning, everyone.
People are
piling in. You, Robin, Jerry's here, Mitch.
Oh, by the way, I might as well say this to you guys. I have launched a Discord hub. Discord is an app. Are you familiar with Discord, Constitution Vet, or Joel? Either of you?
Discord, no. I'm not up on. I can't keep up with the apps. There's too many. They come.
Yeah, this one's been around a while, and it's pretty. It's pretty standard, pretty stable. Lots of people using it, and one of my viewers on Bible Every Morning has taken. I mean, he's a. When he said he told me, he goes, you don't understand how many Discord channels that I have managed and administrated. I'm like, okay, good. I got an experienced Discorder in charge of it, and it's because we don't know what Google's going to do, right? They could delete everything at the drop of a hat, and so I'm like, I hate to lose contact with the loyal people who are just dedicated, that love us, love our content, love being here in this community that's been growing, and so. One way to actually have closer contact with everybody is to be in Discord. So you guys are welcome to, if you download Discord, just look up This Way Network or This Way Michael. That's my idea. This Way Network is the hub, and This Way Michael is me on there. So make a note of that, Ben, if you want to find us.
Yeah, definitely. I've used Discord before, and Discord can be challenging to navigate if you're not familiar with it. But yeah, you're right. It's a decent alternative to stay in contact with people. So.
Yep.
No, as far as being in contact with people, the topic for today is being a light in the darkness. So there's a lot of stuff going on this week. I know the Democrat DNC started this week and it ended this week. There's a bunch of stuff going on. But I figured today we can really focus on a topic that is easy to say. It's much harder to actually do. So let's get started here. Michael, if you could please, sir, if you could read for me this little section here.
Let me find my stone tablets.
There you go. Yeah.
Do your best, Charlton Heston, right here.
You are the light. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden, nor do people light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on the lampstand, and it gives light to all who are in the house. Your light must shine before people in such a way that they may see your good works and glorify your Father who is in heaven. Matthew 5:14-16.
So here's the thing. My wife and I were talking about this last week, and it brought up a really interesting topic, interesting thing to really dive into, because it's one thing to have a close network of fellow believers who are with you in your walk. They're part of your fellowship. They're your iron that sharpens you. All that is wonderful, and you need to have that. You need to have that fellowship, that community, that church. At the same token, we know a lot of people in our lives that don't ever venture outside that, dare I say it, safe space. They don't want to go beyond that small group of people that are also fellow believers, which is fine. But my question for y'all is, aren't we called to be a light to the world, be a light in the darkness? Or are we meant to just stay within the group of believers that we know, and then that's it? What are y'all's thoughts on that with this verse in mind?
Joel, you always go. Michael, you go first. I'm going Joel, you go first.
Yeah, no, one time I got that in before you threw it to me. No, I was telling Ben, this came up in our house last night. Kind of went undiscussed, but member of our household was at work and orientation, right? And the member of our family, what they do for fun, and they said, I could have told them that I go to a certain kind of Bible study, but I didn't, because I didn't want this person to think that I hated them. And I just thought, well, you just hid your light under a bushel for someone who really needed it, who really needed to see that light. And it's interesting. I just looked up Matthew 5. This verse is part of the Sermon on the Mount. And right before that, Jesus says, "Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me. Rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven, for in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you." So it just got me thinking how much we stifle ourselves, and how much we have accepted the world's critique of us or the world's opinion of us. We're nice people. We're Christians. We're really nice. And we like everybody for the most part. We don't love everybody. We're really not called to love everybody. We're called to love each other so everyone else can see how we love each other, right? So, yeah, I was thinking about this a lot before this show, and I'm in a similar situation myself. I was telling Ben I have a new business venture, and a friend of mine and I, a Christian friend and I, are in the process of buying a business from a very atheistic, New Age, very hostile person to Christianity, and we're kind of letting our light shine as we can. We kind of got to do this tiptoe dance of how do we let our light shine and not nix the whole thing. But he is widely known in our profession to be very hostile. But for some reason, he trusts my friend and I because he knows we're honest businessmen. He's dealt with both of us. He's like, you guys are the only ones I trust. Well, why would that be?
Oh.
We're the only ones you trust. Could it? But so we're in the process of, so he knows we're Christians, I think, but he's kind of an out there guy. So I'm not even sure he understands what.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we're just in the beginning process of this. And it's this very interesting place to find myself and how I am right in front of actually two people, him and his wife, that say all kinds of evil against Christians. And he's, like I said, he's widely known to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And like with our family member, well, I didn't want them to think that I hated them. Well, first,
They
do
hate you
you
anyway.
know? Yeah, they're gonna hate. Who hates who? You don't hate them.
Mm-hmm.
They hate you. They're saying all kinds of stuff against you, and you want to shrink away from that. We tend to want to, oh no, I don't want them to think if they think I'm a hateful person, if they think, I'm evil or intolerant or whatever. And Jesus says, whoa, if that's what they think of you because of me, and that's really the only reason we don't affirm that lifestyle. And that's what it really means. It's not that we hate them. We just don't approve their lifestyle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because of Jesus, because Jesus, the Bible says it's sin, right? It's right there. Jesus tells you, if that's what's happening to you, if people are saying all kinds of evil against you because of me, rejoice. You're in a very good place. You're in the place with the prophets,
right,
and all these people that went before you. So don't be afraid. Don't hide then he goes, don't hide your light under a bushel just because the world is hostile to you. Let it shine. And when you do, and I always say this, I've said this in several podcasts, when you shine light in darkness, the people that are used to being in darkness don't like it. It hurts their eyes.
Right.
And when you throw salt around, it's going to sting.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, but Jesus says, let it fly. Let the salt fly, let the light shine. And if they're hostile to you, they're hostile to me, they're hostile to my prophets. You're right where you need to be.
Thank you for sharing that, Joel. That's awesome. Michael, your thoughts on this?
I remember, we all go through periods, right? There's phases, and there's as an individual, you go through, you put through tests, but you go through phases. When I became a Christian, I was welcomed into a culture that was, I'm not completely foreign to me. My mom had, read or had kept me in church up to a certain point, so it was somewhat familiar to me. But I wasn't, voluntarily excited or taking the initiative to go. But when I became a Christian, it was like I was there, I was immersed, I wanted to be involved as much as possible, and I was. And it's, we need in that period of time, I had virtually zero contact with non-Christians. Maybe the job I went to, construction job, that was about it. So all of my waking hours were at the church, in the prayer room, in the services, at the youth group, volunteering, etc. And recognizing, that's when I first recognized, people can become really isolated into a bubble, right? The Christian bubble. And we need that. We need to have our foundation and our network, right? Going to church is, I think, essential, right? But people can, kind of rest on their laurels, I think is the expression, and be like, my life is, I'm good. I like my life. I like to go to my worship service, have my friends, but that is that's just the foundation, right? We are called to a purpose. We're not, and the purpose is not sitting back, right?
Mhm.
And I'm not talking about those special people who are called as prayer warriors, right? I do believe people that have a prayer ministry or that that pray, I think they are doing the hard work, but that's not everybody
Mhm.
that's doing that. And I don't think those prayer warriors are necessarily called to go out on the corner and evangelize. They are feel called to prayer, and that's their calling. And so I don't mean that, but so I was a young Christian when I started going out street preaching with some of the other guys at the church, and so I had that kind of exposure early on. And so, but it is a balance. People can go the opposite direction and not go to church. Be a Christian. It's like, every church has problems. Yeah, blah blah blah. I always say, well, not me, but this is one I've inherited. If you find the perfect church, by all means, don't join it.
Get out of there. Yeah.
Because
You're gonna
it
ruin
won't be perfect anymore,
That's
right?
right.
You aren't. If you find it,
Yeah.
don't join it. You'll ruin it. We are called to be lights in the darkness. Yes.
It's one of those topics that I recently have really found very interesting because from my background, being in the military, you're forced in the darkness. There are so many things you have to go do and be around and work with people that are nowhere near your belief, your faith, the truth. But you have to make it work. You have to put your feelings aside and get the job done. That to me is so normal. I can't tell you how many times I talked about deep religious things about my faith with atheists, Muslims, Buddhists, agnostics from all walks of life over a beer. To me, that type of world is so normal. And so when I got married to my wife, her family is awesome. Her family, like her parents, are definitely in that Christian bubble. They have experiences, obviously, and they've been through a lot of struggle. But for them, it's way more challenging to have someone who's not in that group of believers. It's way harder for them to talk to those people. Whereas with Felicia and I, we have friends that are definitely not believers, but we still keep them close to us, not because we support what they do necessarily, but because we want to remain that light in their lives so that they can see, so that the hope is one day that they can ask that question, hey, tell me more about Christ. Tell me more about why you guys are always so peaceful, why you guys always seem to be at peace. And like one of our close friends, my wife has a close friend that she's known since high school. And she has definitely struggled. She has made a lot of really dumb decisions. We've held her accountable. And while we don't agree and support everything she does, she has made some good decisions. We have seen her take the right path here and there. And a while ago, she opened up to us and she was like, "You're the only Christians in my life. You are the only people that I know that are devout, professing Christians. And I want to make sure I keep that in my life so that I can always know what the truth is." And she admits, she's like, I'm not fully on board. I'm not there with y'all yet. But it's really nice to know that I at least have I have two people in my life that I can always go to when times are hard. And my wife and I were talking about that the other day. It's like we have friends who are believers. They are our foundation, like you were saying. But we also never want to shut a door to somebody who needs that ministry, who needs to hear, to see what the real walk with Christ actually looks like. And to close out from my background, when I was a teacher, there was one moment, this is like in 2022. So everything was still kind of locked down for the most part. We were still recovering from all that garbage. And it's it's in the thick of this tyrannical, regime that we're in. I was in the break room having lunch, and one of my guys I worked with, he was an art teacher. Full out, didn't mince any words. He was an atheist. He had no problem saying it. He was an atheist. Cool. Okay. I worked with atheists before. No issues. I was in the break room getting lunch, and he comes in, and we start talking. And he was like, Ben, how are you so calm? How is it that you're just so at peace with all the stuff happening in the world right now, within our country? How are you so chill? I was like, I have my concerns. Yeah, I'm worried, sure. But at the end of the day, I'm not in charge. At the end of the day, I know the world's going to end, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I know that all I can do is walk the path that I have, which is my walk with Christ. And while you may not agree with that, that's why you see this sense of peace on me.
He asked, didn't he? Yeah. And that's why I've always, to me, the biggest missed opportunity was what you're talking about, the lockdowns, and how so many churches close their doors out of fear. What an opportunity to show the world, to shine light in a world by saying, death, where's your sting? We're Christians. We're not afraid of death. First of all, we're commanded to meet together. Mm-hmm. And if we die, to die is gain, but we're not afraid. That would have been, and if Christians had been out in the world, which a lot of us were, but a lot of us weren't. And it was such a big divide, but what a missed opportunity that was. Mm-hmm. And also, I have a story to tell, a little quickly story. It's going on right now, an example of shining light. We have a homeless person that is parking her car in our neighborhood. And we have this nice little neighborhood in North San Diego County. And it's a homeless person who parks a car and at night and sleeps. And there are various men coming by and various things are left when she takes off in the morning. And it's not a good situation. And we've been trying to get her to leave. Mm-hmm. And there are a lot of Christian families in this neighborhood, but a lot of non-Christian families. And there's been talk of maybe doing some drastic things to get this lady to move, but it's been, I wish I could show you the text messages going back and forth. The Christian people in our neighborhood have been so shining such light in the way they've dealt with this woman, the love and the concern. We even found her mother in Arizona. They did research on her, found out who she was, found her mother, and her mother's like, I have been sick about my daughter. I didn't know where she was. And we're saying, well, she's here. And I just love our neighborhood. Yeah. And it's been such a light, even when we were saying we were praying for the woman and trying to help her and trying to find out what's best for her and be redemptive. And so many other non-Christian people have kind of even joined into that language. So we took what could have been a very ugly situation and redeemed it and shined light and threw a little salt around. And the non-Christian families in our neighborhood see it and they notice it. So
that is a benefit of living in a Christian nation, right? It's where that should be the dominant ethic, right? The dominant mode that we operate in, and those non-Christian families, that is a light. That's the saltiness, right? It's like, okay, I hear bad things about Christians all the time, but in my actual experience, right, this is.
Excuse me, Mike. I said there's always this thing going around that surveys say that most people don't want to live next door to are evangelical Christians. And that's the big thing. And I always said, yes, as a general rule, but if you ask someone who lives next door to an evangelical Christian, they say, I'd rather live next door to that person. So when it's in general, it's one answer, but when it gets specific.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
It's pretty interesting. Dr. Steve Hurley made a video yesterday or day before yesterday, and his video was pretty short, but it focused on how Christian nationalism is on the rise, not just in our country, but also in other countries, especially in Europe, how a lot of these nations are moving away from the secularized worlds and focusing on embracing their Christian heritage and really reminding themselves, hey, this is what helped us build where we're at today. It's our Christian views. And that in turn increases their nationalistic views. Really, really interesting video.
Cool.
Anyways, but yeah, that is something that's been really weighing on my mind recently. It's just, as a Christian, in my opinion, I think we need to find that balance between maintaining that foundation of believers to hold you accountable, to keep you on the path. But at the same time, you also need to be willing to be that light in those dark areas, to reach those people that don't know the truth. And they may very well be your enemies. And you need to be able to have those conversations with them, not attack them, but for them to see you, your walk, with the eventual hope of them being, hey, I want to learn more. Tell me more. What is it about your life, your faith, that's so different than mine,
Well, this weekend or Sunday, I'm this thing I'm invited to. I'm taking someone with me that is not a Christian. The thing is a gathering of Christians, and I believe it's a group of particularly charismatic denomination churches that are having this event. And I got saved in a Assemblies of God church, which is technically Pentecostal in that persuasion. So I'm very familiar with the charismatics, and so I'll be right at home there. And one thing they are very good at is preaching to you about Jesus. Are you saved? And so I'm taking a guy with me that is not a Christian, a guy that knows I am a Christian and that is familiar with Christianity. And it's going to be a several-hour drive, and I'm going to prep him a little bit. Right. And, I don't know that he's going to get saved on the way up. I don't know that he's going to get saved there, but he's going to get exposed to a very different brand of Christianity. It's like people that are very in your face about it. So it's going to be an interesting weekend. But as we wind this up, this is totally off topic, but I wanted to say, I think I'm going to change. I'm going to change myself to look like
Oh,
this.
wow.
I was 20.
Nice sweater.
You're giving up Henry Cavill vibes. I'm impressed.
Oh yeah, it's 20.
I'm thinking more Backstreet Boys, but
Right.
My wife's like, "Where is that guy? Where is he?"
You're rocking that sweater.
Yeah.
Yep.
My daughter, actually, who's very stylish and fashionable, her first comment was the sweater as well. Like, nice sweater, Dad. But alas, they all have to deal with this.
Nice segue.
For now. All right. So we got about a minute left. One thing about being a light is the darker it gets, the light doesn't change. It just seems to, right? It gets darker and darker, but the light is constant and the darker it gets, it draws more people's attention, right? And so it's like the Overton window in politics. Like, people that are on the right kind of are always that way, but the left gets crazier and crazier, that it gets pulled over, and people that used to be on just center left are now considered on the right, and people are accusing them of being right, and they look to the right and like,
right.
I've never, so
yeah.
Being firm, fixed in our faith is what God has called us to, whatever may come, whatever storms may come.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
because we know there's more than just this life, there's something bigger happening. Yeah.
And that's the source of the peace.
Yeah. Amen.
Amen.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. Joel, Michael, have a wonderful day.
Good to see you, John.
God's in charge.
God is in control.
He is.
Take care, everybody.
Okay. Bye, everybody. Thanks.